So it's press conference day and Eddie Howe has spoken to the media this morning ahead of the big game tomorrow, which is of course away at West Ham and a lunchtime kickoff. So let's see what the gaffer had to say.
Take me home to the banks of the riverside. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best. Yes, it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the riverside.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Toon Review YouTube channel, and I do apologise if I sound a bit off. I'm struggling with COVID at the minute. I tested positive a couple of days ago and it's hit me really hard this time, been quite poorly, but I'm trying to battle back and get on with things and bring back some content. So we'll see what the manager had to say ahead of this big game. And he started on Kieran Trippier, and he went on to say he had his operation yesterday and that went well, so that was good news. We aim to have him back before the end of the season, but it's a significant injury, which is a big blow for us. So I think what he's saying there is basically don't expect him back anytime soon. You know, I know a lot of people have been saying, well, you know, these injuries, the metatarsal, he could be back in 2 to 4 weeks and things like that. No, this isn't going to happen with Kieran Trippier. I think Eddie's given us basically what a lot of people already knew, was this is a long-term injury. It's a massive blow for the club, but we somehow have to get around that. You know, we know he's going to be a huge miss, but we only hope that the players available to Eddie Howe will step up and do the job. We know that there's nobody at the club who will do a good enough job as Kieran Trippier does, because they're not as good as him. But we need somebody to step up, and it'll be interesting to see who he goes with tomorrow. On the injuries, he says Javi Manquillo went off in the same game after landing awkwardly on his ankle following a header. We don't think that's serious, but he will miss the West Ham game apart from that, whereas we were. So again, and the one player that would stand in normally for Kieran Trippier is, of course, Javi Manquillo, and he's going to be missing. Of course, Javi has played on the left-hand side the last few games that he's come on the pitch for Newcastle, and he's done really, really well. But unfortunately, he did get that injury against Villa, and now we're struggling for a right-back. So Emil Kraft did, of course, come on for Trippier against Villa, but Jesus Christ, it wasn't great, was it? Then he went to say on to facing West Ham, he says, we know how difficult this game is going to be for us, but now in our recent run and the confidence we have proved we can compete with anyone in the division. We will need to be at our very best levels again, especially physically. So I think what he's saying there is he's expecting a real physical battle from West Ham. Now, of course, we played them on the opening game of the season and they absolutely destroyed us, but things are very, very different from that game. Things are very, very different for the whole club since, of course, West Ham came to St James's Park. It is going to be a battle. I think the midfield is going to be very, very important tomorrow, because the midfield that we have are going to have to cover and help out the defence as well without Kieran Trippier being there. It's a simple fact that we're going to need them all to sort of group together and be as one and work hard. Now, who knows what he's going to play tomorrow, the formation, we just don't know. And it's certainly going to be a headache for Eddie Howe, because I'm sure that he would have liked things to have continued exactly as they are, given the good vein of form that we're in. However, you know, these things crop up in football where he has to make changes because he's forced to, not because he wants to. And I think that's the big thing for Eddie Howe tomorrow. He's forced into making changes, but he expects a battle with West Ham, and so do I. But I think it's midfield. I think if we can take care of Declan Rice, I think we stand a good chance. But, you know, who he puts on Declan Rice, do we man-mark Declan Rice, or do we just play our normal game? Because he is certainly the player to watch at the moment. He then went on to say about the defensive options, I'll have to make a decision that's best for the team. You want a squad that's pushing and fighting for each other. I think whoever plays knows if they don't perform, they have a very good player waiting for their opportunity to get back in, which is very interesting, because obviously he's talking about, you know, if they don't perform, then players coming back in. Does that mean he's going to leave Lascelles out? Because if you go off what he's saying there, Lascelles shouldn't be back in the team, given Shah and Dan Burns' performance against Aston Villa. There's no way Lascelles gets back in that team. It's as simple as that. If that's what we're going off from what he's saying there, because he's saying if you don't perform, you know, there's other players to come in. However, they performed very well against Aston Villa. So do you then bring Lascelles back in? It's very interesting to see what his team lineup is going to be tomorrow. On the midfield, he says, it's a really strong area for us, probably our strongest in terms of personnel. Every player would have an argument to say I deserve to start, so long may that continue. So, as expected, really, Eddie is not giving anything away regarding the midfield, and we kind of accept that. You know, we knew he wasn't going to sit there and say, you know, oh yes, naming certain players to say yes they've been great or they haven't been too great. You know, and he's not going to give anything away. We know that from Eddie Howe's press conferences that he's very, very rarely slips up and gives anything away regarding what he's planning. On Bruno, he says, Bruno will start a lot of games for us and will be a huge player. I don't think this period where he's watching and learning from the Premier League is a bad thing for him, although it will frustrate him because he wants to show his talent. Now, again, that seems to me that he's going to be on the bench to start again tomorrow. He doesn't... You know, if he's going with the same formation, which is interesting because I don't know whether he should or not, but... If he goes with the same formation that he played against Villa, then it seems to me like he's going to stick with the midfielders that have done such a good job in the last couple of games. And people can say rightly so. Yes, Joe Willock has performed a lot better. But I think if anyone was going to be the player to miss out of the three, it's going to be Joe Willock. I think all the fans appreciate that. But, you know, he's doing really well. So who does he leave out? It's very, very interesting and a difficult thing for Eddie Howe for tomorrow. Then on Joelinton's defensive work, he says, I think I'd be lying if I said I knew he was capable of that when I started to work with him. The first time I was aware of his tactical understanding was the Norwich game when he filled in after the sending off. His delivery of what we've asked him to do has been excellent. Defensively, he's added a lot to the team. His ability in recovering long distances, tackling and intercepting the ball has been of the highest level. I can't praise him enough, and I know there's more to come. Unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, when we talk about Joelinton, we never thought we'd ever get to this stage with Joelinton when he's one of the first names on the team sheet. But he is. That's just a fact. He is one of the first names on the team sheet now. And for me, it's wonderful to see. It's wonderful to see him grow. I'm pleased he's thrown all that egg back in my face after the stick I gave him in the first 2 years. But you know what? He's been managed properly now, and I think that's a big difference as well. You know, he hasn't just been thrown up front and forgot about. Eddie Howe's come in and the coaching staff and worked with him and actually, you know, seen that there's the player there in a certain position rather than what he's been used to. He's gone back into midfield and he's performing heroically. Absolutely brilliant. So that for me is massive. And long may it continue for Joelinton. But that's it from the press conference reaction, guys. Thank you very much for tuning into the video. If you're watching this on Friday, then I will be doing a match review tonight with Danielle and Stato. That will be at 9 o'clock tonight. I'm just going to stick a load of painkillers down my neck and try and get through it. At the minute, I am overheating dramatically. My glasses are steaming up and it's just unbelievable. But hey ho, you battle on, or you try and battle on as best you can. But thank you very much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do hit the like button. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, you've had a look around the channel, you like the live shows, the recordings, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Lots of stuff coming up on here. You can become a member if you hit the join button just underneath the video itself, or you can, of course, get the link in the description as well. And thank you to the channel sponsors, of course, Geordie Riffs, local business, local guitar business based here in the Northeast, offering 10% off your first guitar repair or setup and your first guitar lesson completely free of charge if you just quote them the Toon Review. So thank you very much for their continued support and sponsorship of the channel. But that's it, guys. Enjoy your rest of your Friday. Stay safe out there if you're in the storms. Take care.